game. Time to play the game.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Toe Knows Everything, the podcast on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. This week, I'm super excited to have Mr. Futsal Canada in the house, Johnson Luyiga, who is also the founder of the Ontario Provincial Futsal Association and the Canadian National Futsal Association. Welcome, Johnson. Thank you for being on the podcast. I'm excited to have you here because we're going to talk about one of my favorite things, which is futsal, sport that is exploding worldwide, that I know has obviously been very big in South America and different parts of the world, but now you are bringing it here to Canada. Yeah. Before we get started, I want to tell you, awesome hair, man. Awesome hair. Hair means everything, and you got it.
Thank you.
Tell me, who inspired you with that hair? Who inspired you?
You know, when I was playing as a kid, I wanted to have my own identity.
Beautiful.
And when I grew up and went for Nike Challenge, that's when I spoke to someone there, and he's like, no, you gotta have your own identity. And he's like, oh, let's try this. And all of a sudden, he gave me this haircut.
And that's stuck ever since.
Ever since.
Amazing. It looks incredible. I gotta tell you, it does give you your own identity. You stand out apart from the crowd. So I know you as a great guy. You're an incredible ambassador for the sport of futsal. Yeah. But tell me a little bit about yourself, your history, where you came from, and how you got involved in futsal.
Oh yeah, my history is pretty interesting, pretty sad. And I'm born in Africa. Right. In a country I will call X, because we're going to have a conversation. Right. And I have relatives there, friends there, and I want them to be fine, right?
Of course.
Yeah, so as a kid, I lost my parents at the age of 4, so I don't know how it looks. I don't know how it looks to have a parent.
So you were raised obviously without a mom and dad. That's incredibly a hard thing to deal with.
Yeah.
But obviously you're a successful guy today, so somehow you persevered. How do you manage after experiencing something like that, losing your parents so young?
I dedicated all my life to sports.
Amazing.
And it was really hard because in school, in Africa, you have to pay fast before you attend classes.
There's no public education, no free education.
At the time,
it's pay to learn.
Yes.
Okay.
And I managed to go through my grade 1 to 11. And then when I came into secondary, that's where it was really tough. And it was just sports that made me progress through that. And
so sports was the catapult for you to overcome all your obstacles in life.
Yes.
It was the main focus. It
yes.
was the thing that drew you and had you motivated to do better.
Yes.
That's
yes,
amazing.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about that. When you got to high school, how did sport frame your life?
When I got to high school, at the time we had sports prefects, games teachers, and so on and so forth. So what happened is in the schools they had inter-class competitions. Mm-hmm. I went into school and I'm 11 years, and I was like, okay, which sport should I do to be part of this program, to have a funding to do school. Right. And my first time was I went for marathon.
Oh, so you're a runner. You're a runner initially.
Yes, because I had friends and we were talking about it. They're like, man, you have long legs. You can do this.
You're a great runner. That's it. So natural ability, they saw it.
Yes, that's friends, right? Yeah. And when you're friends, you have different dreams, right? Right. My friends were like, no, you can do it. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go. But at the time, because we used to talk a lot, too much jazz, people are gonna laugh at you the next day if you don't make it. I had a friend of mine.
You were worried about the tryout that you weren't gonna make it.
Yes. So at the time, school competitions started, and we had juniors and seniors. Because we were young, new generation, you're studying with someone who is 20, 30 years. You have no chance.
Of course.
And juniors, that was like senior 1, senior 2. Okay. and we had to compete, and the best would get a school scholarship.
So a full scholarship. So you win, there's your full ride. You don't have to pay for education.
Yes.
You get a scholarship.
Yes.
So you're motivated, obviously. You want that.
Yes. And then I had a friend. We used to go together after watching, I think that was the World Cup 2002.
Okay. That was in Seoul, South Korea.
Yes. And he told me, you know what? I'm gonna take all your clothes. If you're last, if you don't make it, don't come back to school.
Wow, that's a motivator. You lose, don't come back. That's it.
Yes, don't come back.
Okay, good. I'm gonna use that on my kids. You do well, don't come back.
Yeah, so we started. I remember we went into the field, and then we had guides all over the roads and stuff, and then we started. Man, I couldn't do it. I was young. I went like 3 kilometers. I couldn't do it.
So there was a marathon race, 3 kilometers. You're feeling exhausted.
Yeah.
There's older, more experienced guys.
Yes.
You're like, how am I going to do this?
Yes.
So how did you persevere through that?
We had a plan already in place.
You had a plan.
Right? I'm like number 50 right now. Our plan was, if I don't make it, I don't go back to school. I just go home because my body had my clothes covered, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't make it. I just went back home.
That was it. That was it.
That was it. No chance.
So you go back home.
Yeah.
Where do you go from there?
From there, I had plan B.
Okay.
Plan B was to become a ball boy.
Okay.
When you become a ball boy, these guys had a very strong shoot. They played soccer at the time, right?
Right.
When they
So
make
a ball boy for a club, for a
school,
football. Oh, okay, for school.
not even club,
Not even a club.
school.
Okay.
Then I began to be a ball boy. When you're a ball boy, you can get the ball, at least make some juggles. You don't have money to buy a soccer ball. Remember that.
Got it. So what are you using? You're the school's supplying you.
Yes.
Okay.
After school, I stayed 40 minutes to an hour, being a ball boy on the side, grabbing all those balls, going outside.
Collecting all the balls.
Yes.
That was your job, basically.
Yeah, basically. And then I get some touches on the ball.
Got it.
As well.
So you're developing your skills because you got
Yes.
time with the ball.
Yes.
Good.
And I remember we had a junior schools championship.
Okay.
And I played as a goalie because I couldn't do it still in the field. The guys were really good.
Right.
And then I'm looking, how can I be part of these guys?
Right.
That was my
So
challenge.
how did you go from there to being part of those guys?
I became a goalie in the school.
So that's how you
school-
started,
Yeah,
as a
so I
goalie.
offered to be a goalie because I couldn't. These guys knew each other. I'm just coming in my first year in secondary school.
Right.
And these guys have been there a year before, so they had a team already in place.
Okay.
I offered to be a goalie.
And so they took you on as a goalie?
Yes.
Were you a good goalie? No, not that good. Not that good. That's how you transition from goalie to player.
Yes. Now, you're looking for that opportunity. You're
you
looking
need a chance.
for,
Whatever it
yes.
is, you're taking it.
Yeah.
Good.
And I became a goalie first year. I made some good saves, to be
Right.
honest with you. And then I managed to get school fees for my first year.
Wow.
And then second year, I was good.
So you develop your skills over
Yes, yes.
time, over the year, you got better and you became
Yes.
a good player. So would you say Canada has given you this opportunity with
Yes,
futsal?
yes.
Because of Canada. Maybe if it
Yeah.
was a different country,
Yeah,
you might
no.
not have had this opportunity.
No,
That's
I don't
amazing
think so.
to hear.
I don't think so.
That's amazing. It makes me proud to be Canadian, and it's a fantastic thing because we give opportunity to the world in
Yeah,
Canada, and
yeah.
we're a country that really nurtures and helps immigrants and people from everywhere.
Yes.
And that's one of the most things I'm proud of to be Canadian about when I hear
Me
things
too,
like this.
yeah, me too.
So you're in Toronto, you're working with kids and youth and trying to help them out.
Yeah, and there's also CIC funded programs
Okay.
by the migration, where you find Cold Soul downtown Toronto being booked for these newcomers come play, find friends, and opportunities.
Right.
I'm home. I received an email. They're like, Johnson, have you given up on your dream yet or no? I responded to this counsel. I'm like, no. I've not given up. I'm still thinking about it because I worked with the kids in Vancouver. When I started to do this, it was in British Columbia.
So in the West, in Vancouver.
Yes.
Okay.
And it was an academy where they had like 27 kids.
Okay.
When I came there, they had 27 kids. They are doing something for the community.
Right.
I'm there, these kids, kids here access internet.
Right.
They can find about you.
Yeah, any kind of information.
Yes, they can get to know what's
Exactly.
going on.
Yeah, they figure it out quick.
Yeah.
Easy
So,
access to information.
one kid told me, I want to play for Canada as you played to another country when you're a kid. How can I do
That's
it?
his dream.
That's his dream. It gave me a flashback for when I was 11 years old.
For you,
Yeah.
when you were young.
Yeah.
And your dreams.
Yeah,
So you said, you know what, I want to help this kid.
yeah.
I've been through this.
Yeah.
Now he's got a dream and I want to help him with his dream and to achieve
Yes,
it.
yes.
Awesome.
Then I realized it wasn't only one kid. I got practice, and another kid came and asked me, Coach Johnson, just be honest with me. Can I be Ronaldo? This is a kid.
Wow, asking a big question, loaded
big
question. Can I be
question.
Ronaldo? I want to be Ronaldo.
Yes.
Everybody wants to be Ronaldo.
Yes.
That's a big question.
And I still remember his name. It's called Abdullah. Abdullah, yeah?
Abdullah.
Yeah. Abdullah asked me a question, and then I looked around, I saw the parent, and I realized this parent had this question.
Right.
I told him we'll discuss. I spoke to the people that were having this program. I asked them, what's the plans you have for these kids? They told me, no, we just get them out of trouble. They come here.
Get them off the streets.
Yes,
They're
play.
at-risk kids. We want to help them out.
Yes, play, enjoy,
Right.
get to meet new people. And yeah, that's it. Some are done.
That was the plan.
Some are done.
Yeah.
They are in school. We are happy.
Right.
They are happy.
Yeah.
Spring,
So
we
a
start
simple
again.
plan.
Yeah,
Not
simple
too
plan.
complicated.
Yeah. I told them, like, these kids are asking me, they want to win medals, they want to be Ronaldo, they want to be like me. Look around, see kids' leagues in the province. We register these kids as a package for them to being in this program this year.
Got it.
Guess what happened?
What happened?
These kids were not brought for practice.
Okay.
It was a Tony that used to drive over these houses, put these kids in his vehicle, drop them off. He goes back, he comes, take the kids back.
Right. So it wasn't a traditional program.
Yeah. And parents started to show up.
Okay.
That means the kids were communicating, hey, there's something happening.
Right. Something.
All of a sudden, we can't manage this crowd. The crowd
getting
is
so big.
big.
Wow.
I'm asking the director of the program, can you please get more volunteers? We can't do it. Now we have kids that are serious, and now we have kids that are beginning.
Right.
And you have the youth guys who are under 16 all coming.
So this program's developing. It's
Yes,
developing. So it
it's
goes from
developing.
something very basic to something more serious, where now all of a sudden you got crowds, you got parents,
Yes.
more interest, and it's developed to something bigger.
Bigger.
So that's your starting point. Let's
Yeah.
fast forward a little bit.
Yeah.
So you go from starting working with youth to all of a sudden, you're in CONCACAF
Yeah.
for futsal.
Yes.
Tell me how that happens. How did you go from working with kids to all of a sudden being on the biggest stage, being in
Yeah.
Mexico, South America?
Yeah.
How does that happen? A guy from Africa comes to Canada, works with youth. Next thing you know, you're on the national level. Tell me, how did that happen?
This is amazing, I'll tell you this. How it happens is when 2017 Canada Day, I was downtown Toronto
Okay.
with kids. Like my Canada Day, full day
Full day.
with the kids. Kids told me, no, we wanna play Liga. We wanna play Liga. And then I had to call the city of Toronto. I tell them, hey, we need to do something here.
Right.
We need these kids to be into something. And 2 weeks later, I'm with the city trying to plan, and I'm with the councillors, not even with the mayor, not
You're with the city councillors.
Yes.
Okay.
They asked me, can you design something? I had a friend of mine used to be a producer for Michael Jackson.
Wow.
I told him, look, I know you quit everything you were doing. We can help a community together.
Beautiful.
This is my idea for the city. Can you produce it for the kids?
So you collaborated
Yes.
with him?
Yes.
Okay.
And he told me, you can't do it because they charge these kids 5,000. Where are they gonna get the money?
Right.
I'm like, no, the city will try to improvise for these kids. All of a sudden, I receive a phone call, and they are telling me, okay, here we used to have futsal. We have received over 150 applications, but we want you to run this program over so that you can give these kids opportunity,
Right.
put everyone together, form a community
Got it.
that, you know,
So the city, in
Is affordable.
collaboration with you and your friend, all of a sudden you're working together to develop a futsal program for kids in the city of Toronto.
now still with the city,
Right.
I wanted to develop something soccer-wise.
Got it.
As I was developing it, with the city partnership, forestry, all those guys approved the program and everything.
So you got the rubber stamp from the city. Go ahead, run the program.
Go ahead, run the program.
Right.
The thing that was on was this partnership being worked on. As the partnership is being worked on,
Right.
Johnson becomes a provisional president.
Right. So you became the president.
Yeah, you know why? Because the guy that was running futsal in Canada, he was he received a certificate before from the Premier of Ontario.
Okay.
His name is Daniel Sirius. And I heard he had died of cancer, and nobody was taking care of that program.
Right. So it had been abandoned.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm told you can bring this program up, take care of these kids, take care of other ages, all classes of people. That's who we are in Canada.
Got it. Okay.
I'm like,
So you're
okay,
given this initiative.
Yeah.
A big initiative.
very big.
Okay.
And I didn't know it's very big.
Right. So you just threw yourself into it without knowing the real parameters. So you did it. You took a risk, right? And you just went with it.
I'm a sportsman. What should
Right.
I do?
Yeah, what
I
can
love
you do?
sports.
So you did it.
I did it.
From there, how do you move from the kids into the adult game? Because all of a sudden you're ready to go to the national stage. It's
Yeah.
like a quick progression. How do you
Quick
go from the kids to the adults?
It's two things here.
Yeah.
From the kids, there was youth Olympic Games.
Okay.
Now we have the association here. We are running. There's youth Olympic Games for the kids to play. My thing is the youth.
The youth.
First.
Right.
And then have something for men after.
Right.
But because my idol was Ronaldinho, these kids need another idol who they can look up to that is real,
Sure.
right? Then I become president. I look into the history. I contact the president in the USA and I ask him, hey, what's going on? This is what we need in Canada. This is what we need. I don't know anybody doing that.
Right.
Been here years. I've been doing soccer.
Right.
What's going on? So, of course, if a question comes from Canada, you gotta answer,
Right.
and you have to answer the right way.
Sure.
So he told me, okay, we're gonna have a coaching camp in Canada, free of charge, because he knew my heart is to help these kids. Free
That
of
was
charge.
your goal, to help
Yes,
the kids. So
yes.
they were going to do a coaching clinic, pro bono, no
Yeah.
charge,
Yes.
just to get people trained.
Yes. Get people trained, get these people I had met doing the sport, helping kids, get a little bit of qualification.
Right.
Right? Because they are doing it from their heart.
Right.
And they're from Ryerson University, downtown Toronto.
Wow.
And then I'm like, okay, we are having this coaching course. You guys have to show up. You need to go and film my.
So you get this coaching clinic happening here in Canada.
Yeah.
They send people to train our people who are volunteers, basically,
Yes.
so they can get some qualifications in terms of futsal.
Yeah.
From there, where do we go?
From there, I think something became bigger, because then people had started to contact me actually, tell me, okay, I hate this region, and I've been doing futsal. I have 500 kids. I want to come and join you. I love your initiative. We are proud that we have futsal
And they want to be
in
part
Canada.
of it.
They
want
wanted
to
to
be
be
part of
part of it.
futsal in Canada.
Yes.
Fantastic.
I had about 2,000
Oh my goodness.
members being offered to me.
Incredible. Let's fast forward it a little bit. So
Yeah.
they're trying to do all these roadblocks, but ultimately you overcome.
Yes.
You overcome because you end up in the CONCACAF Futsal Championship.
Yeah.
Take me there to the Futsal CONCACAF Championship. Tell me about
Wow.
that event.
That's an amazing event.
Amazing event.
Won by Canadians.
Won by Canadians, which is incredible.
Given the opportunity by their Canadian government, the Canadian rules, Canadian codes.
Right.
Because before we went there, we had to organize the national team.
Right.
Organizing a national team.
And I remember when you were doing that here at VAUGHAN SPORTSPLEX too. That's
Yeah.
where I met you.
Yeah.
You were playing futsal here.
Yes.
And I said, look at this guy playing futsal. Who is this
In
guy?
summer,
I gotta
yeah.
get to know him. in the
Yes,
summer."
yes,
So you're
yes.
training these guys.
Yeah,
So
I
you're
did
working.
it myself.
You're all on your own. This is a
Yeah.
one-man show, which is
Yeah.
a remarkable feat. But you end up training these guys and getting them to the CONCACAF Cup, which
Yeah.
they eventually win, which is
Yeah.
even more incredible. So all the odds stacked against you. You coming from Africa,
Yeah.
you having such a hard beginning, losing your parents,
Yeah.
go right to the top of the futsal world in the CONCACAF Cup.
Yeah.
Incredible. So how did you do that?
First, you know, when you come in Canada and have Canadians work with you in the right faith, because that's what Canada is, that's what we are known all over the world,
All over the world.
is our heart in
Absolutely.
Canada.
Absolutely.
My first aspect in every victory we have right here was to tell all my board members that Canadians have to win this cup. What I do is I put there myself as the image of all this victory, but it has to be organized by Canadians.
Right.
And this is what I did. I came to you, I told you what I was planning to do. You said, okay, I'm gonna donate 20 hours to this program.
We're going to support it because we see
Yes.
it's something that you're working so hard for these young people and young men, and ultimately you went there and you won. Tell us a
Yeah.
little bit about the tournament. Who did you face in the tournament?
We faced Rosano. That's 6-1.
6-1.
Yeah, first game.
Wow.
Before the game, they saw one player on our national
And
team.
it was in Mexico.
That was
Tournament was
Mexico.
held in Mexico.
Yeah. One of our players is too tall, you know. He's really Canadian. They
tall
told
guy.
me, they told me, oh, you're bringing here Toronto Raptors.
Toronto Raptors with you. Wow.
Yeah, and I was like, I was a bit shaky. I'm like, oh no, because Mexico, they get funding from their Ministry of Sports. Their Ministry of Sports sent in a letter here, we're gonna pay for your accommodation in Mexico. We are responsible for
So
feeding.
Mexico ended up subsidizing the
Yes.
players' accommodations, but not Canada.
Not Canada.
Incredible that in a country like ours, a first world country,
Yeah.
33 million people,
Yeah.
we fund all kinds of things.
Yes.
We have to have a host country like Mexico
Yeah.
fund and subsidize our players to go and attend this tournament. And Mexico did that.
Yes. Yes.
So that's amazing on,
Yes.
on the Mexican government's
Yes.
part,
Yeah.
realizing they need to help their NAFTA partners.
Yeah, yeah. You know, so by that time, everyone in the Spanish community all over the world, they were cheering Canada.
Wow.
They were cheering Canada. You know why?
That's incredible. Why? because of our hearts, I think, and because we're underdogs. We're underdogs.
You need to be proud of being Canadian. I tell you one
I
thing.
am, man. Always proud to be Canadian. Proud of my origins, because I think in Canada everybody has immigrant or some type of origins where they came from somewhere else.
Yeah.
So for me, it happens to be Italy. For you, it happens to be the continent of Africa. For someone else, it's somewhere else.
Let me tell you one thing. You see this card here?
Yes.
The Colombian Comité Olímpico paid a 5-star hotel for me to go down in Colombia, see Under 20 World Cup.
Wow.
You know why?
To develop the
Because
sport in Canada.
they have football de salon as their second sport.
Wow, that's the number 2 sport there.
Yeah, in
Absolutely.
Colombia.
In South America, that's
Yeah.
what the kids play. If
Yes.
you want to be a professional soccer player,
Yes.
you got to play futsal.
Yeah.
Right?
Now-
Ronaldinho, Messi in Argentina did it. All the Brazilians do it.
Everybody.
Falcao, countless players, countless amazing players.
Everybody. Now, going to Mexico, we had already a high expectation from these governments already.
Right.
Because their Ministry of Sports had reported what was going on all over the world.
Okay.
Johnson and other people all over the world had achieved something small.
Right.
And now Canada has a high expectation.
Right. Now the bar
But
is high.
we do not have an expectation of winning trophies.
Right.
That means Mexico Ministry of Sports
Never
sponsoring us with accommodation down there, food and stuff, and our association coming up with tickets to send players down there to play. For them, it wasn't a big deal because they thought they would win this trophy.
Right. Nobody expected Canada to come. Mexico's hosting. They're paying for it, and then
Yes.
Canada wins.
Yes,
It's incredible.
It's incredible.
Okay, so Johnson, what's the future for futsal here in Canada? We've got futsal running all the time here at Vaughan Sportsplex 2. We hosted the Futsal Ontario Cup, which is different from what this is.
Yeah.
Right? So what's going on in Ontario? Ontario obviously has its own idea, but they don't
Yeah.
really have a trademark on futsal.
No. They cannot use futsal.
Right.
And actually, even me, who is Futsal Canada, started in 1983 by FIFUSA, resulted into AMF in 2000.
Right.
I'm supposed to use the word futsal when I'm advertising an event,
Got it.
when I'm advertising a product.
Right.
When we go to play, I have to use indoor soccer
Okay, got
or
it.
football de salon.
Okay.
But
So
the
competition.
the product I produce, now you can say I'm going to watch futsal if you find me play.
Okay.
If I'm playing, you say, oh yeah, I'm going to watch futsal.
Got it.
If someone else is doing it, it's soccer 5.
Soccer 5.
It's soccer 5. Soccer 5. When
It's
they
5 aside. It's
Yes,
5
5
aside.
aside.
You're 5
5v5.
Got it.
Soccer 5. That's what they do. Now, when you mention that Ontario Soccer has a futsal cup, no, that's a wrong phase.
Right.
They have a soccer 5 cup.
So they're not really futsal, they're soccer 5.
No, they are soccer 5.
Got it.
When they come to us and say, okay, we want to use your trademark to run this, then they can have a futsal,
Got it.
right? Now, the first plan for Canada futsal, Canada indoor soccer, Canada football de salon is the great plan that we all wanted. We're going to have the World Development Offices for the product of futsal, football de salon, indoor soccer in Canada.
Amazing.
That's the first development.
Okay.
Because we need it to see it, to believe.
Yeah, and we got to be
Right?
on the world stage. We
Yes.
got to be with the rest of the
Yeah.
countries involved.
Now, when we go back, we need to have everything set up on a provincial, then a regional, and the city level.
Right. So you got a pyramid.
Yes.
Pyramid from your national,
Yeah.
provincial, municipal, all the
Yeah,
way down to the
yes.
local.
To the local, into public schools.
And this is where Ontario Provincial Futsal Association
falls,
comes into
yeah,
play.
yeah.
Right? And this is where we develop futsal players in the province.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, me as the federal president of futsal, Canada futsal, it's written here even on the cards I received to go anywhere. It's like President Canada futsal. as my responsibility is to see each province with a provincial futsal association.
Got it. So every province in Canada will have their own association.
Their own association.
And then there will be your national governing body.
Yes. Now, how are these national and provincial associations and regional associations to, city council associations and what are we going to work? Is we are looking for the best talents to make Ontario provincial national team.
Right.
That's U10, U13, U15, U17, U20, boys and girls, then men's and women's.
Got it.
Then that will give an opportunity to everyone to at least dream to play on their provincial teams.
So you're giving them an opportunity
Yes.
to play at the provincial level and then
Provincial
ultimately
level,
at the national level.
right? Then at the provincial level, when you make a provincial level, that means you are good to be someone for the national team.
Got it.
At least,
Got it.
right?
Got it.
Now, the work down here is very, 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 very massive. That's why we have Mexico is now chasing us. They want to play our U13 and U18 and U20.
They want revenge for this.
Yes, for this
They want
trophy,
revenge.
right?
The Mexicans are coming.
Yeah, they are
The
coming.
guns are blazing.
Yeah. They are coming. They are coming. But we want to sit down and lay a great strategy, which we have already. And we have these people that have developed the sport down in South America, providing us with information of how they managed to have 20,000 fans.
So they're giving you the model of how
Yes.
they developed it and how they
Yeah.
grew the sport in their country, and we're going
Yes.
to use that model.
Yes.
That makes total sense.
And they told me, we use this model to take all our youth out of trouble.
So it's not just about the sport, but it's about helping young people.
Yeah, sports is leadership.
That's it. It's leadership. You got it. Absolutely.
You have to give these kids the right psychology
That's right.
that they can wait for 5 months to get from their city councillor down here at Ontario Provincial Futsal Association. That's going to be a mandate. You have kids, you have teams where you employ a psychologist, a psychosocial person for the province.
Right. So there's different
Right.
elements and avenues.
Yes.
This is a big picture idea.
It's a big picture, but for the tricks and psychology part of it has to start now.
Right. At a
Because
young
we
age.
have kids already,
Incredible.
right?
Incredible.
You have all those kids there. You don't know what they are suffering
That's right.
from, what's their weaknesses.
So ultimately, this is going to help kids get through their hardships and all of their
Yes.
issues and problems,
Yeah.
and get them focused on something, which is a phenomenal sport of futsal.
Yes.
Incredible.
And this sport, if well developed on a provincial level, like for instance, Ontario Provincial Futsal Association will have to have, for instance, we are calling it a coffee cup. In Canada, we meet for coffee.
That's right.
You have a coffee cup every year to give teams an opportunity to come and play, show you what they got. Coaches show you what they have. And then from there, the association exchange contacts with them.
So a showcase tournament.
Yes.
To highlight all these players.
Yes. Then you put those
good.
teams together. When you put those teams together, what happens is you form the Ontario Cup,
Got it.
Futsal Cup.
Okay.
Right? Because
So
you
it's all linked.
Yes.
It's all linked.
You had a meet-up tournaments for people that are not affiliated to you to get the opportunity to show what they have,
Right.
right? From that, every year you will have that first, then you have the Ontario Cup, which has,
A provincial champion, and then the
Yeah.
provinces compete for a
Yes.
national champion.
yes.
Incredible. Okay, so Johnson,
Yeah.
this has been super informative. I've loved learning about everything that's happening. I can see big things happening because you're obviously a very genuine person, and you're a loving person, and you're altruistic. You want to help kids,
Thank
which is
you.
incredible. Before we go, I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
If you had one player that you emulated yourself on,
Yeah.
who was the player that you looked up to most growing up, and why? Who is that one player?
That's Ronaldinho Gaucho.
Ronaldinho, the great Brazilian number 10.
Yes.
And why? Why was he the guy?
You know, I love his personality. He's playing in a sport that you really work hard. But he had a smile on his face.
Always happy. Even
Always
now,
happy.
you see him, he's smiling all the time.
Yeah, he was all the time happy. You see him trying to do something. You know, this guy is one of the greatest to me now, because when I saw his Nike video,
Yeah.
they are throwing the ball on a court.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Which shows
you watch the
football is
Jenga video, the Nike video
Yes.
of Jenga soccer in Brazil.
Yes.
Futsal is really where he honed all his skills. That's
Yeah.
what made him the person that he is. It
Yes.
taught him the leadership skills. It
Yeah.
taught him the technique on the court.
Yeah.
It taught him everything about life and how to be a winner.
Yes.
Which is really the main thing that I see you doing. You're teaching
Yeah.
these kids to be leaders and
Yeah.
winners on and off the court, which is
Yes.
pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Johnson, I want to thank you for being here on the podcast. Where can people find you if they're looking for you and they want to register their kids for futsal, or they're looking to try out for one of the futsal teams that, we know Canada's going to have success with you leading futsal here? Where can they locate you, maybe on Facebook or Instagram?
Oh yeah. For now, they can just go direct to Canadian National Futsal Association.
Okay,
You can either Google AMF Futsal Canada.
right?
You'll be able to send an email to
AMF Futsal Canada.
Canada. Yes, AMF
Perfect.
Futsal Canada. Send an email there for any inquiries. My people will definitely respond to that. And then now we want to release that responsibility to provincial associations, because we are federal. There are people. Canada is one of the biggest countries in the world.
Right, right.
One man cannot do it.
Absolutely.
A team of 10 provincial associations will give the needs to Canadians.
Absolutely.
And we prefer now the formation of provincial associations, and then residents from Ontario can contact the Ontario Provincial Futsal Associations, and then residents in provinces that have no associations, they can write to our page.
Right.
For inquiries. They'll have people there to answer all their questions. And also, we are now looking for support.
Absolutely.
We are
Even
concacaf
sponsors, if they want to contact you to
Yeah.
support. Absolutely.
The most important thing right now is we are going to Argentina to defend this trophy.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's-
Messi's home nation.
Yeah.
Canadians going to defend this trophy.
Yes.
I wish you all the best of luck. I know we're going to be successful under your leadership. I thank you for all that you do for the community and the kids, and we hope to see you in the near future. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are looking to get involved in futsal, please contact Johnson. Thank you again for being the leader you are in Canada. I appreciate everything that you've done, and I'm privileged to call you a friend. Thank you, man.
Thank you too.
Thank you.
Thank you too.
Take care and watch us again on Toe Knows Everything.
It's all about the game and how you play it. All about control. And if you can take it, all about your set. And if you can play it.